We2geda initiative, as we already explained in our first meeting, our first edition, it's just that we're just trying to see how we can mobilize committed young men, professionals, people that feel that they have a stake in this country. They want this country to move forward. They want us to achieve something that maybe we are just dreaming of achieving. What we intend to do here today is that we give some small timing. We have arranged like 4 or 5 people that would help us to go through some of the documents that we really put. I think after the first meeting, we realized that we have a bigger challenge. I think that's even when carried us to go back to the drawing table. It was really clear task. We now realize instead of us just to come and target election of 2023, we say, why? Let us come and put up something that we can now institutionalize. Let us put this into be not a now program. Let's see our short term to be 2023 and see how far we can go. When I was going to do some of the clarification about that. Then we have our midterm, which is 2027, and also we have our final destination, which is going to be 2031. Why we stretch this in for a period of 10 years? We stretch it to be a period of 10 years because we really want to visualize what we want to do. What we understand is that all the time we take our energy to see who is going to be the president. So the problem is that if you have the president and you don't have the support team that work with the president, which almost getting to almost 6,000 people that he needs to help them to move the nation forward. So if we allow everything, there is no ideology, there is no vision, there is no vision towards going where you want to go to, we always going to stay in the same place and going in the same direction, well, in the same cycle. And also we try to create a stakeholders list. So actually I'm now going to call in Olayinka. Olayinka, if you are Mona, you can unmute Olayinka for us. I'm going to give him just like maybe 15 minutes to see how he can give us the introduction, We2geda, vision, mission, and also current set of things.
One of our friends, Franz Fanon, he says every generation out of security would discover its mission. He now puts and bequeaths on the shoulders of every member of that generation the responsibility to either fulfill or betray it. Again, Lenin says, there's another friend, that if we try, we may win. But if we do not try, it's certain that we have lost. What we're doing here, We2geda Nigeria Initiative, is a just-in-time intervention to save our dear nation from the brinks of total collapse. I do not want to bore you at all with all the issues in the nation now that calls for a very desperate and dire solution, except all of us will just watch our nation snowball into complete anarchy. We2geda Initiative represents a group of young Nigerians between the ages of 18 and 50, at home and abroad, from diverse ethnic groups, faith, academic, professional backgrounds, with the competence and experiences required to drive the much needed reinvention of the Nigerian state. And we have a unified interest, and that is to initiate and commence, at least for once, a citizens-based engagement which avails every Nigerian the sense of inclusion and merits in the process by which we hope to be governed. We hope to reconcile, in doing this, we hope to reconcile all Nigerians worldwide, using democratic partnerships and technologies to actualize a free and prosperous nation. We2geda is trying to start a robust initiative and engagement between people of the generation from 18 down to 50. So it's an intergenerational interaction, gets towards generating a new breed of leaders who are competent, who love Nigeria, and who have the test of character to take Nigeria to the next level. We2geda Nigeria Initiative is creating a leverage for Nigerians, for once, to come together, an enabling environment where all citizens can freely pursue happiness. They can pursue prosperity, association, expression without discrimination. The people who voted in the last election was less than 2 million. That tells you that there is a missing link. The missing link is that those who have the numbers, who have the critical mass to be able to take decisions, are either lethargic about leadership, they don't care, or they just feel that they have lost hope and there's nothing we can do. What we're trying to do at We2geda Nigeria here now is reawakening the consciousness of people to the possibility of a reinvented Nigeria. And we know that it's not going to be easy. That's why we need the partnership and the energies of everybody so that we'll be organizing from community down to the federal level. Identify resources, human capital resources who have integrity, who have competence, who have expertise that can be our substitute when we democratically, in a peaceful electoral process, weed away the set of leadership we have now. It's obvious there's nothing we can really get from this set of leadership. It's obvious that there is need for a new set of leadership. But the issue is that, does it come easy? No. And it comes at the cost of an initiative like We2geda that is organizing young people and their critical masses from local government, community to community, person to person, sustaining discussions on statecraft. Political literacy is another primary drive of We2geda Nigeria initiative. You see, we have found out, we have actually found out that one of the major challenges of the citizens class, the 86%, while they are most likely bamboozled by the political class with 2,000, 1,500 for elections, is because they don't know the gravitas of that one single mistake, giving their votes to the guy who has not got any plans for them. Political literacy is another major drive of We2geda Nigeria initiative. We need to make people understand the nexus between the power of their votes and the social infrastructure they expect back as performance from government for the improvement of their lives. We need to let them know the correlation between that single vote and free education, quality healthcare for their children, free education, increased opportunity, employment for their children.
Thank you very much, Olayinka. You really hit the nail on the head. And I'm so happy the way you passionately give us the introduction. The strategist Muna, who is with us here, he will just go briefly. I will give him another 15 minutes to carry us to see the strategy presentation paper that we have.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. I am Muna Obioha. I'm sure some of the participants do know, probably know me, and some definitely also do not know me. Sure. I want to be able to speak to the consciousness of every Nigerian that is here today. I want to be able to speak to the consciousness of, first I use the keyword Nigerian, and this initiative is built on an ideology that we are first Nigerians before we are Igbo. We are first Nigerians before we are Hausa. We are first Nigerians before we are Yoruba. And we are first Nigerians before we are Ishekiri, Ijo, Nupe, and other ethnic groups that exist in Nigeria. This is the value, this is the principle that have brought us together. And I want to be able to speak to another thing that everyone and some people in the room, there is a high level of distrust in the country and in the society. And the first thing everyone is going to ask is, who is funding We2geda? Who is behind this? And I just want to quickly speak on this, that there is nobody. It is your movement. It is your initiative. It is your program. And we have taught it, we have tried to do a lot of thinking, but we know that we can't even think without you. So we put in place a framework a basic structure that would be able to allow every young person to own a piece of this process. And I say that emphatically because I know that we have what it takes to be able to take the leadership, but we must be able to heed to the wisdom of the older people that have been part of the process. So please, due to the distrust that exists out there, this initiative and this movement does not support any big political candidate. And I want to be able to say that categorically clear, that we are here based on an ideology that we have to reconcile our country, we have to unify, and we have to build the economy. If that is the only thing that we do achieve, because if we do not do that, we are at the borderline of we would sit back together in the next 10 years and have this conversation. So now, having clarified that, I want to be able to touch upon something, right? Nigeria, the history has made everyone in Nigeria very resilient and has shown that the Nigerians are very intelligent, hardworking, and successful. And we have the best of the people, and just like the resources extracted from our soil, the foreign nations are getting the best of our human capital. And I want to be able to say this, that you have farmers or agribusiness owners who may have risked getting killed in the farm in Borno and that will be killed by insurgents or the bandits in Katsina. Some of them have left the country and now creating food brands for foreign FMC, food, fast-moving consumer goods company globally. We have doctors who are from the eastern part of Nigeria that have spent most of their time going on strikes over low wages. Now they are developing and curing difficult disease vaccines, such as even the COVID-19 vaccine. We have teachers who typically would have been underpaid in any part of Nigeria, now designing curriculums for school districts in Europe, in the US, in Asia, and much more. Then we have investors we have people who live in Nigeria who are agribusiness owners, who are technology startup owners, who are manufacturers, who own all sort of businesses, looking to be able to raise investment and little money to run their business. But they have to overcome the stigma of Nigeria as a fraudulent country. All right? But now some of them have left Nigeria and they've been able to raise lucrative deals in different parts of the world. Now, does that not give you a little bit of an idea that we really do have a great problem across the north, across the east, across the south, and across the west? And please, I would like to be able to clarify on this, that there are some times where one part of the country has a problem and different people from other sides of the country begin to feel that I think that they deserve it. I know that some of us in this group do not share in such belief, but we need to be able to take a step from that and be a little bit more loving of one another, have a bit of empathy for those who are even within our class, social circles, and those that are not. It has come to a reality that we have so much brain drain and we are losing our best and brightest people to other countries in the world. So it is only fair that if you are from northern Nigeria, and if you're from eastern Nigeria, and if you're from southern Nigeria, and you're from western Nigeria, whatever part of Nigeria that you're from, you need to understand that you are Nigerian first. And the earlier that we start to do something about this, the better for us. And I can say just because we are young does not mean that we are competent, okay? So what we need is in front of us. We are what we need. You, my brother from the north, you, my brother from the south, you, my brother from the Niger Delta, you, my brother from the Yoruba land, you are who I need and I am who you need. For we are all Nigerians and we need to come together. We need to be focused. We ought to be determined because the leadership and the future of this country, it is there for us to take. If we can think it, we deserve it. If we deserve it, then we can earn it and we can take it. So the Nigeria of our dreams, I can tell you simply, is ours. It is not hard, and I will show you in a few minutes how I believe it is not hard because we have laid the bare. We have laid bare for that this year with what we have seen, and we can be able to do more. Now, if you do not have any interest in the political process, then you have no cause to complain for what you inherit as a system. everything the politicians, the ministers, the commissioners, the governors do affects your life. Few months ago, I don't need to tell you much, few months ago, less than 5 years ago, the foreign exchange rate was at $1, 150 naira to $1. Today, in the recent times, it's skyrocketed to 500 naira to $1. And please let me tell you that we have over 60 trillion naira in our pension savings account for those of us that work and contribute to our bed, and those of us that do business and contribute to pensions for employees, friends, and family. Now we have 36 governors and a president and a vice president with 360 House of Rep members and 109 senators looking to borrow over 8 trillion naira on your pension savings. And there is no plan on how they plan to repay that. There is no problem in borrowing, but what exactly are you borrowing to do? So you have a bunch of people who have the best of intentions, but may not have a better idea on how to go about it. And you have a better idea to go about it. I have a better idea, and we can all collaborate. So we ought to do something, and we need to get into We need to get into the political process, because if we do not win an election, we cannot make it happen. I have spoken to the sensitivities of this nation: tribalism, nepotism, impunity, disrespect and disregard for rule of law. These things are the vices we have inherited for 60 years. But I can tell you that we can turn the vices to the virtues if we can imbibe the principles of love, if we can have an empathy towards one another, and if we can begin to try to find our common grounds. Please, it is a plea to me. I'm making this plea to everyone on here. We must love one another. And if we come together to solve, even if it is economy and the judicial system of this country, I think we will be making great strides. We may not have it in 2023, but in our midterm, our short-term, midterm, and a long-term goal, which I will go through in the presentation, we will be able to make great strides. And what we have done here is to ensure that we have a north, a south, an eastern, western Niger Delta handshake. And because with this, we will be able to send the Asian ruling class packing. Now, not in a disrespectful manner, but in a way to also carry them along to understand, to alleviate their fears and concerns. Thank you all. I will take you all through what Mr. Abdulkarim had highlighted that we started over the past few months. So please give me a second and I will share my screen with you shortly. Here, we have worked extensively over the past few months to think about how exactly we can be able to make the change that we want to make in the system. So we've come up with what we consider a data-driven mobilization plan. We2geda, we are pretty much a movement of millions of young Nigerians who are coming together to make a lasting difference in nation building. This is all about nation building. And if we really do want to build a nation, we have to be a representation of a group of Nigerians within Nigeria and outside of Nigeria, from diverse ethnic, religious, academic, and professional backgrounds. And professional for a reason is that we believe that the goodness and the greatness of society can start within a group of responsible professionals who have the heart for Nigeria and care about the country. And we hope to drive the much needed change in the Nigerian state. So our vision is to reconcile, like Mr. Olayinka and Mr. Abdulkarim have said, to reconcile and unify Nigerians all over the world using democratic partnerships and technology to actualize a free, peaceful, and prosperous nation, with a goal of creating new generation of competent and patriotic leaders who will lead Nigeria to prosperity. This is what we have. We have we have a president and a vice president. We have 36 governors. We have 109 senators. We have 360 House of Representative members, 990 House of Assembly seats, and over 774 local government chairmen. Now, all of these positions do come with, when you are, if they look at executive as a presidential, it comes with political appointment. And when you look at the governors, so the president only makes 7,000 political appointments that determine your fate, determines your health, your education, your infrastructure, your business. No matter how insulated you think you are, the appointment of the president determines your future. 21 years of Fourth Republic democratic system, 6 election cycles. Who are these people that have been leading us? What exactly do they do? Are they qualified to actually be in that position? Do you trust them? Do you understand do you know what your local government chairman does? Do you know the budget of your local government? Do you know the project? Do you know who your House of Assembly member is? I bet you do not. Some of us do know. Well, I bet that many of us do not. And I can tell you that I did not even know who mine was. So we're going to be talking about, this is the landscape that we have, and we'll talk about what we want to do at We2geda. We have put together a target for ourselves. I just showed you that over 61,000 people determine your future in this country. What we want to be able to achieve in the short term, come 2023, is that if we work together, if we think together, and if we act together, I believe that we can achieve about a 10% participation in the executive position. Now, 10% of 811 gives us about 80 positions. Even if it is local government chairman, a little bit maybe 2 young, competent governors, we may or may not be able to influence who becomes the president. But that will be able to give us a leverage to be able to negotiate for political appointments. And if we do achieve any little bit of success, we want to be able to influence the appointment, to be able to appoint the young, competent people who are in this room that we believe are competent. By 2027 election cycle, we should be able to increase the gains we made in 2023 by 20%. And moving forward to 2031, we should increase the gains we made by 40%. And the numbers are there and the results are there. But I know you're going to ask, why? Why should we even embark on this journey? So the evidence is blatant in front of us. Why nation building? Hunger. Hunger is the reason why a gay man can kill their boss. Hunger is the reason why a woman can look their husband in the eye and say, you're good for nothing and I will kill you. And she means it. Hunger is the same reason why a man can look at his few children and he feels that he cannot provide for them and he kills them. Hunger is evil, outright, whatever faith you come from. Hunger is bad, right? And one of the problems we have, and there's the reason why hunger is prevalent in our society, we have a poor national constitution. Our politics and democracy is very weak. And please, can I just entertain you that for the past 60 years of being a nation, over 20, at minimum, like average, this is the most conservative number, over $21 trillion have left your country. Please make no mistake, that's a lot of money. When you look around the entire country, you see nothing but abandoned projects. We have poor execution capability. Why? Because people that man this position are not competent. And we have lawmakers who are one of the highest earning, and we have poverty. Little or no roads. Now, what do we plan to do? If we're going to do this, here at We2geda, we are setting out that we would have a leadership development institute. One of the key things that we want to be able to focus on is to be able to identify people who have the heart and the care for Nigeria, all right? And be able to recruit and be able to train. And what do we want to train them on? We want to be able to carry out political literacy, understanding how do you get involved in a party? How do you get your hands dirty? And what we're going to be doing is making it easier for everyone by training people on the executive, what it takes to become an executive, and training people what it means to be a legislator. And we're building this framework, and some of the members that are on this session, I may not mention names. When they get to the unit level, they will know themselves. Are going to build this where we can actively we're going to have on the We2geda platform, a channel where people who intend to run for political office should be able to, one, submit their information, register, state whether they have intention to run for a legislative or executive position, show their track record. We can carry out background checks on them using the resources and the network within again, the movement, to vet and note that they are credibly who they say they are, because what a lot of our leaders lack is integrity and credibility. And once we do that, then we'll be able to we'll give them all toolkits, all the resources, and all the support that they need to be able to run for political office. Now, how are we going to do this? We're taking two approaches. And allow me to dive in a bit into, I know you all going to have questions, but allow me to dive a bit into how. Just as a background, few people on here, Mr. Abdulkarim, have run presidential elections for 3 years straight, two election cycles, and they lost. But at the last time, at the third round, he worked carefully and he applied data sensitively and advised his presidential candidate effectively, and they were able to have a success. I myself, at the capacity of as a consultant, have worked with gubernatorial candidates and senatorial candidates where we have made significant success and they have won all elections, though they have lost some, but they have won some. And having said this, and Mr. Imran and Mr. Abdulkarim have been very active, and Mr. Olayinka has worked with the likes of senators from Lagos, and they have made significant progress in achieving electoral victory. And so has Olamide at the US level and at the Nigerian level. Now, having said this, I would like to say, please make no mistake, elections are not won on social media, yeah? Because the majority of those that take the 5,000 naira on election day to sell their destiny and sell my and your destiny are not on social media. So on that, we're going to run this movement on Airstream and Groundstream. Airstream is pretty much everything that has to do with the digital, the mobile channel of engagement. I send you a link, you register, I can coordinate with you, we can have Zoom sessions, we can mobilize, we can go to different communities, we can carry out outreach programs. Anything that gives us a channel of engagement from a mobile phone, an internet tool, or any sort of visible experiential marketing is an Airstream. Now, and we also have a plan for the Groundstream. How exactly do we, for one, gather the data of people who are registered voters and do vote on elections? Two, we have a plan. We're going to be building out a plan with you all in how to go about community organizing. We need to be able to carry out town hall meetings at the local level, and we have to set out on a membership drive where we engage these people. When we engage our brothers and sisters at the ward level, understand their challenges and provide the solution, which is highlighted in our manifesto, in our agenda, and our plan for a better and new Nigeria. There are a few things that make this thing a success. And I say this emphatically with experience. I say it with confidence. I say it with God-given confidence that if we follow this, we are going to challenge the status quo. The key guiding principle of the strategic drive will be crafting a message and building a narrative. Now, just because we craft a message in English does not mean that that message is going to resonate just to everybody down the line. So when we craft this message built on ideology and values and narrative, we have to now break it down to relatable to local dialect. Now we're going to build the communications, right? How do we want to be seen? How do we want to speak on anything? Then we have a media. Then we must have a media plan. Then we have a leadership development track, which I just spoke on. Then we have an agenda and reform that we propose. And we are going to we will be working again with the team members and people who will be signing up to be in the team to understand the election trend, okay? And we'll be building out demographics that matters. We may not be able to do this without effective consultation of stakeholders. And when you say stakeholders, I'm talking about traditional rulers, talking about religious leaders, right? I'm talking about those in the Islamic movement. I'm talking about those in the Christian movement, right? I'm talking about those in the Jewish movement. And I'm talking about different groups, the ASU that has been on strike. We're talking about different trade unions. We would have to engage with them at a certain capacity. So those are the critical stakeholders. Once they believe in what it is, once a few of them believe in what we're proposing and they see the benefits in this better Nigeria for them, we have to verify the data and the information they give us about members or people that volunteer to come and be part of it. Once we do that, we have to be able to look at obtaining voter records to some capacity, and we have to carry out the verification process of that and know how to engage them. And our engagement is going to come through you, going back to our ward levels, going back to visiting our states a little bit more, and engaging and having town hall meetings and having Zoom sessions like this, which is the mobile organizing, and much more. So the goal of all of this is that we must have 20 million supporters who are verified voters, who are part of the We2geda movement and can influence the outcome of elections in this country. And now, for us to be able to do that, we have to be able to understand that there is a little bit of a social re-engineering that needs to happen here. We must humanize, we must have empathy, we must humanize ourselves, irrespective of our class, to engage with those who the politicians and the Nigerian state have called hoodlums, and build a beneficial member network. Why should the young people who are not as privileged come and join We2geda? What is the benefit in it for them? We have to build a reason. Are we training them to become, what exactly are we offering? We're going to be designing programs, events, things that make people come together at the community level. We may not be there actively, but we can come up with that. We can come up with the programs at the national level, and some of us can take it down to the state level and award chapters. And it could be adopted, and it makes them trust us. So we must be relatable. Our brothers and sisters must trust us. And while they are doing that, we have to be able to get everyone to register as a member. And when you register as a member, you obtain an ID, a We2geda ID, which some of us on this call already do have. Your We2geda ID will be programmed to become a QR code. Once you have that, you have a referral link when you'll be able to refer many friends and family to be able to come into the network. And we will provide the tools, the resources, the communication, everything that you need as a talking point to talk to your people, or talk to your friends, family, and associates, and your colleagues. We will be able to provide that as we all work together. It's a collective effort. It's not a one person's effort. And once they come into this, they will have a lot of benefits. They could set up soccer tournaments that keeps them engaged. They could be trained to have certain level of skills that make them employable at whatever capacity. They can be able to have vouchers to do the things that they like. So betting, gaming voucher, the betting culture in Nigeria is very big. Not that we encourage it, but if it's something that makes people comfortable and happy, we can, as a means of engaging them, we can be able to give those things. And we have to bring them into an ecosystem. You see where I've said money, mobile wallet, digital bank. I'm sure a lot of our brothers that are within the technology space or the financial space would want to know a little bit more about that. But it is for you also to build out things that we believe will make us relatable with those that are considered hoodlums. They are not hoodlums. We must humanize them, we must engage with them, and we must convince them to understand why they have to do our bidding and not the bidding of the politician that gives them 1,000 naira and forgoes their future. So that is the benefit of that. That's why we must have a beneficial member network that makes us relatable and believable. So in this, we establish integrity and credibility. When we do this, then we'll be able to, again, as data keeps piling, we'll be able to mine, look at this thing, determine what predict the attitudes and people at the local level, and reach actions and help whatever it is that we plan to do. In order to do this, we must have a full-fledged structure, and I will let my colleague Olamide speak on the structure.
Thank you, Mona. Good evening, everyone. As have been previously articulated by my colleagues, this movement is critical, and I mean, us as Nigerians, we're critical to the delivery of the vision and of this movement. From our own conceptualization, we have formulated 12 units to steer this movement, cored by the National Project Management Unit into units. To reiterate what Mr. Yinka said previously, this is a statecraft gathering and it is community-based. So we're going to be drawing on the strengths and the expertise of everyone on this platform to push forward this movement. So first, we have the legal unit, which is really to ensure compliance and to provide guidance throughout the course of this movement with the Constitution of Nigeria, our legal frameworks, both for electoral and beyond that scope. Secondly, we have the research and strategy unit. As Mona highlighted in his presentation, this movement is results driven and it is based on evidence. We're going to be the research and strategy unit is really pivotal to the success of this movement in driving, again, policy and giving a feedback mechanism for our other units as well, which is going to be really critical to articulating the vision of the movement and being cognizant of the diversity and the complexity of Nigeria and speaking to the different population segments in a language that is unique and is understandable by each segment. Next, we have the technology, data, and analytics unit. Again, I just like to reiterate that this is not, strategy is key, but this movement is driven by evidence and driven by data. Again, so we're going to be optimizing the benefits of technology to ensure that we deliver on the mandate and the objectives of this movement, but beyond that also to track and monitor our progress. The finance unit will be guiding the financial framework of the movement. As the entire leadership unit will be held to strict and accountable measures, including a code of conduct, because we must embody the principles that we hope to see in our country. Again, you will see we have separated the media unit from the communications unit. I think that media is pretty straightforward. We have this political steering unit, which will coordinate with existing political partners and really engage and deliver the grassroots strategy. The Diaspora and Development Partners unit, which will engage in stakeholder management of our development partners and our brothers and sisters who are located all over the world. We also have our NGO and CSO unit. These are the pulse of the people. Our NGOs and CSOs are closer to the grassroots, and they must be engaged very strategically to ensure that we work hand in hand towards the attainment of our objectives. We also have the contact and mobilization unit, which will ensure structured engagement of all the stakeholders and ensure really that robust civic participation. Mona has presented, our strategy is twofold. There's the airstream, but then there's the ground stream, which is really critical because we know that's where the majority of Nigerians are. And finally, we have the monitoring and evaluation unit. Again, to reiterate, we must be able to monitor and track our performance as well. Sorry? And this unit
go ahead.
Yeah, this unit will be responsible as well for ensuring quality control and driving the performance. So each unit, we've come up with a skeletal framework to guide each unit, and the monitoring and evaluation unit will be keeping us accountable to ensure that each unit is delivering on its specific terms of reference and the indicators to measure success. Thank you very much.
So where exactly do we go from here now? I believe that's going to be one of the questions. So we had put this out. So because there is a case I would love to make for every one of us to understand is that you are a critical stakeholder in this country. You are a citizen in this country. And what we want to be able to do is we must organize our voice. One Nigeria means nothing but equal opportunity. And what does an equal opportunity mean? It's that if one thing that we, as We2geda, can achieve is to fix and build the economy of this country. So we have started putting together a blueprint, all right? Let me share my screen shortly. So, again, it's a collective effort. If the elders, as I call them, the ancient rulers, because I beg to differ, they may or may not be, some may not consider them leaders, but it's fine. If they can sit down and determine who leads and where who should come from, if they can sit down and do that, I don't see the reason why you and I should not be able to sit down and do that. And what we have is to put together a basic blueprint, which again this was designed with every view of every document and report that has come across in Nigeria. This was put together studying all those documents. So I believe we can take it according to the level of priority. Is that we need to be able to verify our members, engage our members, build our membership base, get our people educated on leadership, get them to run for public office. And when we achieve that, then as a movement, we can be able to influence what happens as far as reviewing the constitution of the country, what happens as far as looking into the electoral reform, what makes it easy for you and I to run for office. We have to rise up to the occasion. We have to think, those of us that are finance people have to think about how to bring our ideas. Those that are professionals within finance, investment, capital markets, and everything need to contribute into the economic plan. Those that are within infrastructure, can be transportation, rail, power, transportation, which covers road, rail, air, and technology, which is fiber optic across the country. We need to, those that are specialized should be able to contribute on the policies across their sectors. Digitizing Nigeria comes with a whole lot of opportunities and different other sectors, okay? And social security being one of them, national security being one of them, and human capital development being a whole lot of them, and agriculture and food security being what would drive the economy of Nigeria, education space. I would like to say that for you to be part of the process, you have to contribute. Some of us work for public officials at this moment, and some of us do not want to be seen in be at the forefront of things. And some of us are in the private sector and they think they do not want to be political. Please, whatever it is you're doing in the private sector, Nigeria is a government-run economy. Right? One policy, we can wipe you out of business. Okay, so please make no mistake. Politics and policy definitely does influence what happens in the private sector. So I would ask Abdul, who is the host, one of the host coordinators, to put out a link that shows you, for those that have registered and obtained the We2geda ID, you can be able to go to the site. This it is a .tk link, and if you've already registered, we would like for you to select already registered and put in the phone number that you used in registering and put in your email for verification, and select the committee, the unit, the project unit that you would like to work in. We had assigned many of you, we have assigned many of those that have signed up a unit to work initially, but we believe it's only normal and it's only fair that you may want to participate in more than one unit, and that option has been made available after some deliberation. The link is going to come up in a chat to all panelists and attendees. Please click already registered. Verify your email or your identity with your phone number and your email, and select the teams that you believe you could contribute effectively to. From what you have seen today, a lot of work, brain power, and being out there and consulting with those who are within the system, the current government, and those that are outside of the current government. A lot of work has been done. So please do that. Follow the already registered, and if you have not, please click on sign up, and you would get a Telegram link. We want to be able to centralize the communication. It's a data-driven. It is going to be a data-driven movement. Please do sign up. When you sign up, I believe someone heading the technology team right now, you may or may not receive an email notification after you sign up, but you will also get in the chat a link to the Telegram. It's called the We2geda NG Telegram channel. Please do join that. It would have everyone in one group right now. We would be able to share this presentation with you, presentation link with you on there. We would be able to share the organizational structure with you on there. Then we can be able to, when we have further conversations, we can then move into individual groups, and we will determine who becomes the president 2023.
Movement is going to be launched on the 10th of January 2021. All what we are doing here is to gather momentum, put up document, put up strategy, get the best heads that we can get in this group.
Good evening, all. Good to have all of you here, and we are glad to meet at this crucial time after the hard day work to think and country. And I'm sure everybody's feeling the heat and also understanding the need we do what we are doing. Mr. Muna, you have a lot of questions. If maybe you can start from the question of Ikena, who asked how do we awaken nationalist feeling, nationalism, because Nigeria is an orphan, no citizens. Mr. Muna, please. And he also asked of the NGO and CSOs who are legally not allowed to participate in politics. What do we have for them? Because he has seen in the unit that there is a unit dedicated to NGOs and CSOs.
And I would answer that. So I would take it from so Wale. First person was Wale. Wale, thank you so much. Again, I would like to say that we are young, we're competent. So if you're an advisor in the current APC administration, you're more than welcome. Please, if you are an advisor in the PDP administration, you are more than welcome. If you're in the private sector, please, you're more than welcome. So Wale, shout out, thank you for really coming through. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to be doing a lot of things ourselves. Where's the communications team? The communication has to do with branding, and it has to do with building a story. We've built the foundation, right? We've put together the foundation, and we've spoken to the truths, right? We make no mistake. Everyone thinks tribal. Everyone thinks, if you're Igbo, let me help my Igbo brother. If you're Arewa, let me help my Arewa brother. When it's time for political appointments, we understand all those divisions of core. But in our communications unit, which Ikena could be part of, which KK and many of those who run brand and communication agencies, we can come together in a unit, take the foundation of the soul and the values that we've built, and say, okay, how do we build how we're going to build this in our messaging to be core of our ethos. And it is not just in words, but it is in our actions, okay? It is in our actions that we must be sensitive, and we must be alive to the fact that we must be able to include the women. A country that does not recognize women is not ready for prime time, right? The best story that Nigeria has now for itself is the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is now might be the DG of World Trade Organization, which should benefit Nigeria in a lot of ways. But Nigeria has to organize itself internally to take advantage of those who are giving us prime time. Those of us that are in branding, those of us that are in the PR industry, those of us that run digital and marketing agencies, we need to be able to look at how we can always craft out positive narratives about Nigeria, what we're doing at the local level and whatnot. Now, let me answer Abdullah's question. Now, Abdullah, if you're a private businessman, I'm sure you come from a very wonderful background. Integrity matters to you. Please, you will, if you do want to run for public office, you will go through the leadership development track. Some level of background check is going to be run by those who are members in this group to ensure that you are who you are and your community loves you. And you would be given access to resources to take advantage of the leadership development track and what is out there. And we will, the political unit has those who will lead us in engagement with political parties, support groups and whatnot. And they would also lead us with engaging with the Electoral Commission, and will be able to help and ensure that you not only win, but you have the right representation. And we hope to build national and state chapters that can help deliver most of people that have been affected by the movement, and of course support when we get a level of resource support. So please, if you do plan to run, by the time we launch in January, the web platform for the movement is going to be top notch, and it's going to capture every single thing depending on the track where you want to come in from as a volunteer, if you want to be a leader, or if you're coming up a straight up member. All right, so the room for all participation is there, and the unit will be able to welcome you once you come into the fold. Now let me answer the question on NGOs and CSOs. I see that you who raised the question spoke on NGOs and CSOs. Now, NGOs and CSOs, given their closeness to the grassroots, have to be engaged to provide data and the pulse of the people to inform and drive our policy agenda. Remember, we're a movement, and we are built on ideology. And I will answer this question. This movement is here for a few things. It is here to identify, it is here to recruit and build the leaders that will lead this country to prosperity, unity, and freedom and justice.
Thank you very much, host. I want to talk on the lamentation by Umar Dauda, youth value orientation. The people are neglected. The government has no any program of engagement. All we do, if we bring about any project like what you cited example with the Anchor Borrower, was not anchored on anything. It was just on the fly, and it was just like an occasion, a party bash, and it went and finished, and everybody packed his bags and went back home without results. So what we need is well calculated and really well organized citizens engagement. Idris Usman on religious organizations as stakeholders. As Muna presented, you see we have various stakeholders that we wish to engage. A lot of them have been reached out to. We plan to engage the stakeholders in the religious sectors, that is both religions that we have, and even the traditional institution. We plan to also engage them. So it's a holistic movement. It's going to carry over everybody. And thank God that we've had a lot of programs having to do with even the religious stakeholders, which easily we will just key in to them and have a very smooth engagement with them. Thank you very much.
So I would take one question from Q&A before I jump on. What are the plans? Irene Job says, what are the plans for diaspora participation and involvement with this movement? Diaspora is critical. You are us. You are one of us. We love you. You just happen to be, as a result of a failure of our system, you're in a different country to seek a better life. But you have, just like the Chinese, just like the Singaporeans, and just like the Rwandans, you have, I know you all have interest in this country. What we're going to do, our web platform, is going to make it very simplistic for you to be able to, one, join, participate in the conversation, volunteer your resource, volunteer your network. Now, we have Nigerians who are part of Vice President-elect Joe Biden's cabinet. He can, if any of us have access to him, and he sees the web platform, and he sees the transparency in engagement in any program that we do, how it is segmented and publicized, and the integrity that we have built, then they will be willing to have conversations with us and determine whether we can have a seat around the table with even the President of the United States or the UK Prime Minister. So the diaspora has a critical role to play in getting us the international recognition that we have, because we're not all criminals. We're the best. We have the best talent. We have the best talent. I say that comfortably, and they're in the diaspora. And please, the web portal is your channel of engaging with us, and then you will be able to interact with your brothers and sisters who are in this part of the Niger, and based on the programs and the policies we'll come up with, you can contribute in expertise, network, and much more. And many of that will be discussed at the unit levels. So please, it takes all about signing up, and the process will be transparent because we have to lead by example. I believe we're rounding up on the Q&As, and we're getting to the call for volunteers and sign up. And we wanted to say if there was any point, any other questions generally you would love to do, and also speak to the women, that are part of this, and hoping to hear from you as well.
Just to reiterate really what my brothers have echoed this evening, I join you all beyond listening into our conversations, to sign up, not just to be members, but to be active participants, to really bring together this movement to create the Nigeria that we all desire. Thank you very much for your time.
The only thing I just want everybody to know is that we've done too much of talk. We have lamented too much. Now we have an opportunity, a veritable platform where we can all come together, contribute our energies, walk our talk, and make the change. Thank you very much, everybody.
My parting words are: let's remember that this is IT-driven movement. It's a data-driven movement that we track activities, and for people who will aspire for positions, definitely their activities will determine whether they want to aspire or not. That okay, I'm calling on everyone that what we need is number. 20 million is not a joke. It's not just closing your eyes and what have you. We need to make this not only for us. Our own is almost a duty now. But then who are we trying to secure their lives and their future is our children and the yet unborn children. So and it's this generation of ours that is bearing the brunt, and that is going to continue to bear the brunt. And it is our children that will wake up one day and ask, what did my father do to save this country or to save my future? So let's be written on the good side of history, that we have done something genuinely to change the situation of this country and the future of our yet unborn children. Thank you very much.
So thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure having you. Please, again, call for volunteers. Please do follow. Please host. Do put up the link again. You are going to always receive emails from us. When the web portal launches fully, you would be receiving an invitation mail, and you'll be receiving an invitation call from We2geda. Thank you so much. We love you all, and we look forward to having this conversation again. And January 10th, it's going to be a very much bigger and a grand event. And we would lay out every single thing that we're doing. And after that, we would have to go down to the local level after we have normalized the center.
A better Nigeria is very possible. Let's do it together. Thank you, and good night all.